Okay, well, let us begin the begin. You return down the side of the Mukabaki River to Nobioka, escorting the cargo carrying your patron. You escort him back to his craft shop, and you are duly paid. I think we actually did that last week, didn't we?
We got paid last week, yeah.
You got paid last week.
No, we weren't paying this week. You were too quick to agree with him. If the games master can't remember, he has to pay the price.
Yes, and then he deducts it out of your skin later. Anyway, having delivered your patron and had your pay, you return. Are you returning to the docks to your erstwhile friend Wonshu?
Indeed.
Good old Wonshu, yep.
He is somewhat surprised to see you this early,
Well,
and inquires what happened. He thought you were gone for about a week.
The job's
We'll fill him in on what happened.
Yeah. Who's the diplomat of the three Budokas? Who's the face of the three of us?
Oh, Kosa. He's the one with the highest social status.
That's right, yeah, go for it, Kosa, mate.
Yeah, so we'll fill him in on what happened. No reason not to.
Oh, he is devastated to hear that one of the Kami was upset, and congratulates you on your narrow escape. He does have a couple of other people staying here tonight, so it's going to be a little bit more crowded than usual, but he didn't think that your beds would be needed, but he'll get some more sacks and arrange something for you to sleep on.
I think we should go and stay in an inn for a night and have food and sake,
I think so, yeah. I fancy a sake. And
yeah, why not? We've done a lot of slumming it recently.
Yes. We'll find a nice
it's very kind of Wonshu to offer it as a place, but we'll go to an inn instead.
Very good.
A nice one, boys. Treat ourselves.
He will bid you a good night. Will you be back looking for work tomorrow?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, we will. Yes.
All right, he'll see whether or not there's anything available on the docks. He'll plumb his wide range of contacts for you.
What's Japanese for goodbye? It's sayonara, isn't it?
Don't honestly know.
I think sayonara is the Japanese for goodbye, so I'll say that to him.
I think that's actually Japanese for good night.
Oh, is it?
You could say dozo.
We're gonna have to start learning some more Japanese. I micro-learn languages, guys. I know thank you in 15 languages now. So I'm gonna start on Japanese next.
Well, one thing you probably need to learn is when somebody is a little put out. Wonshu appears somewhat upset by Kosa's comment. But he ushers you out of the door, slumming it. And does he recommend...
And just for clarification for the recording, because we said it before the recording, we are on Kisaragi the 14th date, aren't we?
acted as...
Oh, I've got internet problems. My internet's disconnecting. Fuck my life.
That's worth doing.
For space... 4 copper a night?
Does that include food?
Yes.
Done.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Will you be wanting sake as well, or?
Oh yeah.
You mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 copper then.
While I just check. No. Let me just check the cost of sake here.
I missed a little bit because my internet dropped out for a second. But did we get a name for this end, did we?
It's the Lucky coin in.
Lucky coin in.
Lucky because of the coins spent in the back room.
Oh, so there's a gambling room.
No. It's the coins spent in the back room on food and drink. And
Well, actually, you know it's a gambling den because I told you it was. Or if I didn't, I would have done.
Okay, a flask of sake would set you back a silver. That's 2 cups.
That's 2 cups each, isn't it?
No.
2 cups?
There's 2 cups in a flask.
Sake's expensive.
Yes.
Well, we better have 2. We better have 2 then.
We'll have one each. We'll have one each. I'll pay 1 silver for that and 4 copper for my meal and room.
Okay, doke.
Okay.
Kosa might be thinking back to the sake that you had with your evening meals from Wonshu. Slumming it.
Okay, I'll take 1 silver and 4 copper for my inventory.
Okay, I'll knock some money off for Hachiro and Ichijo.
Sake boys! Is this our first session, our first drink together as a crew?
No, you've been having sake every night with your meal while you've been staying with Wonshu.
Ah, okay.
Not as good as this, but it was still sake.
Never tried sake in real life.
Neither have I.
I've only just discovered sushi and I love it.
To quote the goons, sake being potent Japanese rice wine.
I think it's actually very sweet as well, but I wouldn't be... Could be wrong about that.
I'm going to have to try it.
Okay, you settle down in the Lucky Coin Inn and have a pleasant evening.
Nice.
Unless you wish to start trouble. No?
No, this place is full of Yakuza.
What makes you say that?
So Ichijo would have known that this was a gambling place anyway, wouldn't he?
Well, the point is, I did some work in the back room for them a couple of days ago.
Oh,
so.
that's right, yeah, you know about this place, eh?
Are there any guys in there with obvious tattoos?
Oddly enough, yes. They're obviously dock workers who decorate themselves with the symbols of the sea and the docks.
Would I not be right in
honest
thinking,
work.
and this is my tattoo knowledge going over my Japanese knowledge, but in those days only Yakuza would have tattoos. In fact, it's just last century that tattoos were made legal in Japan, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think in those days only a Yakuza would be tattooed. I think 50 years ago only a Yakuza would be tattooed.
Well, they do not appear to have any problem in displaying their fine inkwork.
These
in this
are
inn.
gangsters then. If this is historically correct, these are gangsters.
What does the tattoo actually look like? Does it look like a dragon or something like that?
It's various tattoos up their arms. Some of them have got partial sleeves, some of them have got full sleeves. They look the kind of older and more experienced
Traditional
ones.
Japanese sleeves finish in a breastplate as well. So it'll have
Do
a
you
breast.
want? Could I have a wit roll from everybody, please, to see whether or not you deduce anything from this?
Yeah, this is player knowledge. This is meta knowledge about tattoos. But I've rolled a 1 though. Hey. That's nice because I'm a tattoo expert in real life.
Okay, so Kyūryū does notice something that he's seen on the docks. Some of the dock workers had similar tattoos, but what's common on the docks is they all seem to include a rat at some, a rat or rats at some point in the design.
A rat.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
probably
dock
means
thing.
that probably means the name of the gang is something rat or rat something.
Or the rat is a symbol of the docks because there's a lot of rats at the docks, isn't there?
Okay. and you are settling down for the night to having eaten your. It is actually a good meal. They serve a decent meal at the Lucky Coin.
Nice.
And you're just halfway through your first cup of sake when Wonshu pops in.
No. Fancy seeing you here.
And asks if you can go have a quiet word with a Hachiro.
Oh. Mage work, is it?
Well, scholarly work. Any objection from the rest of you in him taking off?
Yeah, I was about to ask if any of us object to him having a private word.
Not really.
Not at all, no.
Yeah, are we of the school of no, anything you say in front of him you can say in front of us, we are with him. No, we're not bothered.
No.
Yeah.
If you're not bothered, I'm not bothered.
Okay. He takes him off into the back and spends about 10 minutes chatting with him, and then returns and asks if you'd all pop by early tomorrow. He thinks he has a line on a job for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
we will do.
We will do.
Hachiro's looking slightly confused.
Should we have breakfast first, or are you going to feed us? Hachiro looks confused.
Breakfast is served at the inn. Don't worry about it.
Did you say Hachiro looks confused?
Slightly confused, yes. He explains that Wonshu asked him about his knowledge of scripts and asked him to read a couple of scrolls, which they were kind of descriptive scrolls, though there was nothing of import about them, and he seemed quite happy about it, and then asked if he thought that you'd be interested in a job out in the country. So Hachiro told him, well, yes, as long as it's well paid. And he brought him back. There was a scroll in katakana, there was a scroll in kanji, and there was a scroll in hiragana. But he could read the first two, but he can't read hiragana. But seemed quite happy with him, with what he read. So
2 seconds.
quite what's going on, he doesn't know. Anyway,
Mysterious.
Sake? Okay. Apart from that, a quiet night is had. Okay. You pop down the docks the following morning. It's the wind's really got up. It's 15 Kizaragi, and it was quite a warm night. Or about 10 degrees overnight. And it looks like it's going to be a nice warm day.
Lovely.
Even with the high wind. And you make your way to the docks. Wonshu is waiting. And hands you a small scroll. We have a delivery to make, he said. The client has given a set of instructions, and if you want to have a read of them.
Is it in a language I can read?
It's in katakana.
Which I do read, that's the basic, right?
Yes, peasant speak.
Oh. Can I read this?
I don't know. Do you have 10 or better in katakana?
Let me have a quick look. Where's katakana?
I'd be surprised if you didn't.
Yeah, I've got BCS 14. So So,
Yeah.
I'll read this.
You're fully literate in katakana.
Cross the Mukabaki River, travel along the Saikaido for about 6 rie, passing through the village of Anatawa on the way. There is a road off to the northwest. Take it and you will travel another 9 rie before you reach the Castle of the Flame.
At this point, Hachiro is jumping up and down with excitement.
You will pass the Twin Inn and Shinguru village on the way. Ask to speak to Master Fusahide, saying
Era Fusahide.
Master Era Fusahide, saying that you have a message from his master in Tanuki. When you see him, offer him the scroll and say the message is enclosed within it, and that you will retire and await his reply. If asked the reason for your journey during your travels, say you are seeking a herbal remedy for a relative's ailment from a herbalist at the castle. Do not mention the scroll. You will be given a message with which to return, together with a flask to substantiate your story, and may also be given a scroll to bring back. Say nothing about what you have done when the task is completed.
That's the client's instructions. Are you willing to take the job?
What do we think, boys?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, says Hachiro, definitely.
Hachiro's
Anybody got any
talking about it.
objections to?
Well, how does it pay?
The client is willing to pay 10 silver for the job and another 10 silver for your silence afterwards.
That's good pay. Now, remind me, a silver is a
Oh,
month.
yes.
A silver is a month's food, isn't it?
Correct.
So we're gonna get, what did you say, 20 silver?
A total of 20 silver for the job.
Is that each, or is that just as a total job?
Once you kind of collapses in laughter.
That's still pretty good money, boys.
No, you've got to ask these questions, otherwise, no, you get screwed by these
To be
people.
clear,
He loves your sense of humour. No,
I like his sense of humour too. What you mean to say is that's 4 silver each.
Yes, and the journey is about 15 rai there, 15 rai back.
How many days is that then?
If it's on, well, part of it's on the Saikaido. So the 6 rai on the Saikaido, you're travelling double your BMA. And your Hachiro's BMA
Is the
is
slowest.
3. So it'll take a day to reach the turnoff.
Okay.
And then travelling on the other road, well, in theory, you'd be going at your movement rate plus 50%, I think it is. But part of the journey is likely to be in rough terrain, so therefore that'll slow you down.
I like it rough.
Oh, well, it should take us about 2 days to get there, 2 days back, plus however long we have to sit around.
2 or 3 days to get there, I would imagine.
Yep. Sounds like a pretty good job. Sounds very good money for just delivering something. I think it's gonna
We
be
might even get a help remedy of
Yes.
some sort out of it.
Well, Hachiro doesn't really care about the money. Master Era Fusahide it was his master in training.
So we can have your money then?
Oh no! He'll need that to pay for tuition. I mean, you would like to stay at the Castle of the Flame and get training there, wouldn't you?
What kind of training could we get at the Castle of the Flame?
Oh, I'm sure that they teach all sorts of things there that would interest you.
Training's the best thing in this game, man. So far. Apart from the combat. The combat's really cool.
Alright, let's just go and do the job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'm a little bit nervous that they're prepared to pay so much to keep quiet.
I mean, it's definitely a dodgy job, boys, so it's
Well,
Yeah,
it's not for me, says Wanshu. It's for a client, and they value discretion.
yeah, I bet your Clyde doesn't have a name,
Taps
does
his
he?
nose.
No, look. Don't say anything more, Wanshu. You're just putting yourself in a worse position.
Yep.
No, because I can't pay you more than the client is paying me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Good.
Yeah, you'll be paying us about half what the client's paying you, no doubt.
He looks totally hurt and wounded that you would think such a thing of him.
No, I don't think it's of you, Wanshu, but some of your associates I'm a bit more dubious about.
Well,
Yeah, sure, that's what I mean.
they can be a rough bunch on the docks, but they're generally trustworthy for a given value of trust.
Anyway, we shall start on the journey, sir.
Very good.
I should apologise to Wanshu for my comment yesterday. I wasn't casting any aspersions on his generosity.
He's yes, okay. He'll consider the source, and you'd obviously had a rough time up in the mountains.
Yes.
It was very traumatic.
Not entirely convinced that he's accepted it fully, but nevertheless, you are doing a job for his client.
I feel better. I feel better even if he doesn't.
Yeah, you've made the apology. Whether he accepts it or not, that's his problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, he makes all the right noises, but how legitimate it is, I leave it up to you.
Does he bow back when you bow, though?
Oh yes, of course.
When we leave, we'll say we'll know how well he took the apology, depending on what the next job is. If it's shoveling shit, then we know he didn't take it very well.
Yeah, that's when we'll know how well he took the apology.
Well, he obviously he's giving you this job despite what Kosa said.
Well, that might be why he's given us the job. Not that I want to be too cynical about this, but you know.
Not at all.
Okay, he will take you down to the docks, and he will introduce you to one of the ferrymen, and ask him to make sure that you get across safely, and suggests that you drop his name when you're coming back again. The ferryman will only charge you a copper apiece to cross the river.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just take that off my sheet. I'm putting my sheet up on the video when I do stuff on it now.
Fair enough. And would one of you care to roll percentile dice? And do not roll too high.
I've got it, unless anyone else wants it. I'm ready.
Go on then.
Oh my god, sorry guys.
Oh, you let the side down, man.
Sorry boys.
What did he just say? Don't roll too high.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The crossing is quite choppy. The river's well, it doesn't appear to be running high, but there's a lot of odd currents in the river today.
Well, it is a very high wind, so you've got cross currents.
That could well be it, says the ferryman, but might be the Kami's a bit upset. I mean, her waters were disturbed yesterday by that earthquake.
You have a good point there, sir. But as long as we don't capsize, we'll be fine.
Fair enough. You get across the river. The boat wasn't, in fact, in any danger of capsizing or anything at the time, but it just was a choppy crossing. And you make it across the river, and you are at the village of Kagesama on the other side, with the Thanks for River Crossing shrine on your left, to the northwest rather. And are you going to stop at the shrine or head off along the Saikaido?
Wait. I think we will make a small donation to the shrine.
I think we will make a wee prayer and a wee donation.
I should put a couple of coppers in.
Okay.
I am putting in 6 copper.
Hachiro will drop in a couple of copper, as will Ichijo.
6 for me.
just in case, just ready for the trip back. And you proceed up the Saikaido. Okay, so that's one. I will unmask the path as you go.
Are we actually going to go off the map?
You are indeed.
Are we going to expand our map?
Oh no, we're going off the map. Oh.
But luckily, here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh, check you out! Where are we? Can you shift ping us?
Did you not feel that?
Are you able to shift ping us, Dave? Thank you.
Okay, so you have crossed the river. And I will just reveal the map as you go.
Question for from a Roll20 GM to a Roll20 GM. How are you doing that without it being 90-degree like square angle? Do you know what I mean? Not 90 degrees, but like up and down.
I'm using the Fog of War polygon reveal tool.
Polygon reveal. Okay.
If you click on the Fog of War tool, you now get reveal areas, polygon reveal, hide areas, reset.
Nice.
And you spent one of your going to the shrine and back, and then 1, 2, 3, and you arrive at that village. Are you going to push Hachiro to travel further today?
Probably not wise.
In which case you can stay in the village, which is, as promised, the village of Anatawa.
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 You see? The piece of paper is correct so far.
Are we near the end of the day then?
It is the end of the day. You've travelled. You've dropped offerings into the river crossing shrine, and you've travelled to the village of Anatawa.
Is there an inn at Anatawa?
Of course, there is an inn at Anatawa. It is on the Saikaido.
How much does that cost us for the night?
It will cost you 3 copper. That's including food. You're sleeping out back with the rest of the peasants. The front rooms are for the rich merchants and the book. Business is quite busy on the Saikaido. The weather's been reasonably good, so a lot of people are travelling. And the following day dawns, complete overcast, and it's drizzling. Oh dear. Not really the sort of weather you want to travel in, but yeah, you are fulfilling your job. So you cross the river.
So I'll put my straw hat and raincoat on then.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you have it for. And you travel another rie and a half to reach the next junction, and you find a road travelling off to the northwest.
So it's 16 Kisaragi now.
Correct. So, you heading northwest?
Yep.
Yeah, we all follow instructions.
Always a good idea. especially when you're getting paid. And you travel another couple of ri, and you pass by what looks like a rich and sumptuous inn. A very, how shall I put it? Respectable and expensive looking inn. A bit like the Inn of the Willows that you passed over on the other side of the river.
But we're not far
That would
through
be
the
the
day,
Twin
are we?
Inn, is it?
It does indeed look as though it's the Twin Inn.
Why is it called the Twin Inn?
Doesn't say on your piece of paper, does it? Do you wish to venture up to the inn and inquire?
No. It's
No.
full of rich, pretentious snobs. I might like to burn it down, but I mean, that'd get me in trouble.
I mean, maybe Ichijo might want to rob a few of them. I don't know what kind of gangster he is. Like,
Ichijo isn't a gangster, he is a bushi. And you travel further.
I thought Ichijo was a Yakuza.
He started as a Yakuza, but if you remember, I allowed people to change their characters if they felt it wasn't appropriate.
Oh, so he's a
So
Bushi.
after one session, he decided that Yakuza wasn't appropriate, and therefore he changed to Bushi.
So what is Bushi then?
Bushi is warrior.
Right, okay. Cool.
In his case, he's a peasant warrior rather than a...
Shigaru.
Yes, he's an Ashigaru.
Got you.
One of the foot soldiers of the army.
One of the cannon fodder, you mean?
Well, yes. I mean, Budoka tend to be speedy messengers to carry messages between the different groups, and also
I
pick up
totally missed that
unconsidered
day and changed
trifles.
his class. I totally missed that. Sorry.
Anyway, so you arrive at that village, and you have so far travelled 1.5 rai to the junction, but that only counts as 3/4 of a rai because you are on the Saikaido, and you are travelling. Hang on a second. Let me just double check that.
Plus 50%, I think.
Plus 50%, but you are into rough terrain, which slows you down by 20. Oh no, you're not into rough terrain yet. You are still in the clear, so that counts as 2/3. So that's 1, 2, 3.5. So that's another 2 and a bit. So you've travelled 3.5 rai so far. Do you wish to stop for the night or carry on?
What time of
If
night
you
is
speak
it?
to the people in the village, they tell you that the road from here on is dangerous and treacherous, and you don't want to travel in the night.
No, I suggest we stay here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Kinzo.
And they point you at the inn.
What was the name
You
of
do
this
get the
inn?
impression that they may have been exaggerating somewhat by their overacting, etc. But they're drumming up custom for the local inn.
What was the name of this inn?
I would have to write one. It is a nondescript village inn rather than one of the classic ones on the Saikaido.
What's the name of the village?
This village is known as Shinguru.
Oh, well, call it Shinguru Inn then.
The Shinguru Inn, yeah.
Jolly good.
Not very imaginative, maybe, but you know, it does the job.
It does the job. Traffic on the road was much lighter, and you're wet and damp, and your feet are muddy, and it's a bit depressing.
No, it's not.
But-
It's like being at home.
Well, yes.
Not depressing at all.
It's actually a lot better than being at home because you're not carrying heavy loads around. You're not working all the hours that the Kami send.
Oh, I don't know, this scroll's a bit heavy, I mean...
Yeah, but you're being paid an awful lot more than your dad ever gave you.
Yeah, I'll put up with it for that.
Okay. You spend the night in the inn, and
How much is that? 2 copper? 3?
three copper, including food. I'll just deduct some money from Hachiro and Chijo. Easy come, easy go.
I object to the word easy come, okay?
All you had to do was shovel cement. I mean, what was tough about that?
Have you ever shoveled cement?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Don't
day.
forget, I work in the bit. Not all day, I must admit.
It's
I'm
not fun.
I'm not clad only in a loincloth and mask. The following day, unfortunately, you have dark storm clouds overhead. Thankfully, there isn't much of a wind today. The breeze has dropped off, but it is raining.
Sorry,
And it looks like it's set in for the day.
how much
It's
is that in for the
17 Kizaragi, and
Sorry,
you're
David,
not looking forward to this.
I missed how much that cost on the inn for that night.
3 copper.
3, thank you.
And it is nice fresh food. And the following day, you travel west along the road. Hang on a second, I just picked the wrong tool.
Whose idea was it to come on this job?
One shoes, I believe.
You could have told us it was going to rain. I might have not bothered
Yeah.
then. There.
Well, good honest work. Okay, you make it out of the...
Honest, I don't think this is honest.
You make it out of the clear terrain and you are into rough terrain.
Oh, lovely.
And it's...
Wet and soggy and slogging up a hill.
Yeah. And slogging down the hill towards you, you can make out a guy in Buddhist robes. Doesn't seem very happy. He's not your typical friendly Gakuja.
Keep out of his way then.
Are we asking what's wrong?
Stops and asks, where you're going? You're not going to that castle, are you?
We are indeed.
I wouldn't bother. Bunch of unenlightened so-and-sos there.
Why do you say that, good sir?
Well, I just asked them for a contribution and end of jabber about what their view on the Buddhas was, and they weren't very friendly. None of you pious Buddhists, are you?
I would love to learn more about the Buddha.
Oh, would you, my son?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd be keen to tell you.
Please.
I can travel with you.
Sounds of slapping forehead.
Unfortunately, we can't travel with you.
It's no trouble. It's no trouble. I can join your group and teach you as we travel.
No, unfortunately, we can't take a companion, but I could stop for a while, sit with you.
Oh, if you want to. I mean, there does seem to be some shelter under that tree over there.
If my friends wouldn't mind me stopping for.
If you don't mind catching up with us, we want to press on, I think.
Why don't you meet up in Shinguru when we finished?
Perhaps
Which
on
would be
the
a couple
way.
of days.
Perhaps on the way back, my friend, or perhaps we meet in Shinguru. Yes.
He looks disappointed.
I'll take his name.
1 second while I give you his name. Just proceed to where I have it written down. Not on that piece of paper. His name is Minagawa.
Minagawa. Perhaps another time, Minagawa. For we must press on and we can't take a companion.
Sorry, what was your name, my son?
Kyūryū.
Okay, Kyūryū. I will inquire as the good folk of Shinguru whether they will put me up to wait for your return, and we can talk then.
Say his name one more time, Dave, and write it down.
Minagawa.
Minagawa, thank you.
He proffers his bowl, hopefully.
I'll give him a copper piece.
Oh, he blesses you. 1 second. He blesses you, and you feel blessed by his obvious fervour for his beliefs.
I thank him graciously.
It is no trouble, my son, to pass on the blessings of the Buddhas. And you can proceed further along the trail.
Yep.
Yep.
Nah, I wasn't going to let you go ahead without me, boys. I'll meet this guy another time.
And lo and behold, you arrive at the Castle of the Flame. It does look quite an imposing sort of castle. Not as good as the one to the south of you, but it's pretty imposing. You appear to be you are met at the entrance by an obvious student who Hachiro greets and asks, would it be possible to see Master Era Fusahide? I am a student of his from Hanamishisu. Master Fusahide is somewhat engaged at the moment, I'm afraid. If you care to come back in a few days, I'm sure he'll be free.
We do have rather important message for him, which we have to deliver personally.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, a student of his is
from his master in Tenuki.
His eyes go up, and he kind of invites you into the gatehouse to wait out of the rain, while he goes to deliver your message. Another student asks if you would care for some a hot drink.
Yes, please.
They will brew some tea while you are waiting, and they offer you water to wash your feet, and somewhere to leave your geta. They have some fresh geta for you to wear across the courtyard. And the greeting student returns post haste and invites you over in to see the master. And you are taken across the courtyard into the main building, and up the stairs and to Master Fusahide's rooms. And he bows you in, and Master Fusahide is seated waiting for you.
Bow.
Bows slightly towards you in greeting.
Bow lower than he does.
Well, yes.
That's
He
the
is.
mark of respect, isn't it?
Yes, he is Buke, but he's in Shugenja robes.
I won't sit until I must do.
Okay. He inquires of the message that you bring from his master.
Okay, I will approach him, bow, and offer him the scroll.
Okay.
Explain that the message is enclosed within it, and that we have been requested to wait for a reply.
Okay. He rises, bows politely, and thanks you for delivering the message, and claps his hands, and a student opens the screen and he instructs the student to take you to the visitors' quarters for a meal and to rest while he reads the message.
Okay.
Hachiro is going bananas. This is his dream, a school dedicated to the mystical arts.
Yeah, I'm curious now about what else we could learn here in our time here.
Anything. The masters here are very wise.
Well,
You are.
Anything martial.
That he's not so sure about. But anything worthwhile, certainly. Okay, you are taken to the visitors' quarters, and the student will lead you to a room, settle you down, ask whether you are hungry now or whether you just require a snack until the evening meal.
A snack will be fine.
Yeah. This would be
Okay.
nice to have something
I
to
like
eat.
snack, would be graciously accepted.
Okay,
thank you.
he will get one delivered to you.
Would it be possible to have a bath?
Of course.
Would
He,
be nice.
he will lead you to the bathhouse and
Fantastic.
make sure that the attendants treat you with full honours as guests of the master.
Superb.
Alright.
Thank you.
It's nice to get out of the cold and wet.
It's going to be a
Oh,
hot bath.
definitely. Yes. Well, I mean, there is a bath behind the inn in Hanamishisu, but it's pretty basic. This one, yeah, top notch.
Nice.
So you have a pleasant afternoon. After your bath, you return to your room, and a snack is served. And in the evening,
Is there a veranda on our room?
it's on the ground floor, so there is a window looking out on courtyard. Yes, the visitors' quarters are on the ground floor. The masters' quarters are on the first floor.
No, what I mean is there a covered outside so I can go and practice without getting wet?
Not outside the room directly. If you inquire of the student whether there is a practice area,
No. Sorry. If there's not one there, then I shall do without.
Okay, fine. You are summoned for an evening meal with the master.
Ooh. Okay. Put on the best gear we've got with us.
Okay.
Just peasant
Well, it's
garb.
probably your town garb, I would imagine.
Yes, my town guard.
Do I have a town garb?
You bought some, yes.
Did I write it down on my sheet?
From memory, I think each of you bought town garb once you realised that wearing the peasant garb that
Yes.
Hanamishisu set you as you obviously looked
Stand
like
out, yes.
country cousins. It's slightly different. It's still peasant garb, but it's a slightly different cut.
I don't have any space in my spreadsheet to add another clothes.
You can add it at the bottom
And just general equipment.
in general equipment. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
peasant garb brackets town. Okay. Master Fusahide is having the meal in his quarters. He will invite you to sit and eat with him, and engage you in conversation about what's been going on in Nobioka, the progress on the daimyo's construction, the recent earthquake, and anything else of recent historical interest that crosses any of your minds. He is a charming host. Once he obviously recognizes Hachiro, but he does not let Hachiro dominate the conversation with matters magical. and will occasionally steer the conversation back to general topics. Once the meal is over, he will thank you once again for delivering the scroll. He will tell you that it will probably take a week or so for him to deal with the matters enclosed, and asks whether you would like to have the hospitality of the castle while he's working on it, or do you wish to return to Nobioka and come back in a week's time?
I would take up his gracious offer of hospitality. Thank you.
He will comment that there are various arts taught at the school that may be of interest and may keep you amused during your stay, but you would have to inquire the various masters as to who's doing what. And he will say to Hachiro that if he wishes to continue learning, he has found out that Hachiro's partially learned the spell, and that if he wishes to continue learning the spell while here, then he's sure that one of the masters would be willing to assist in so doing.
Okay.
And you are then returned to your...
If we're going to be here for a week, I wouldn't mind swatting up on the
I wouldn't
hiragana
mind
some
doing
more.
some training.
Okay.
It just seems to be the ideal place to do it.
So, 1 second. This is... the second week in Kisaragi. And...
We're still on the 17th, right?
Yeah.
it is the 17th Kisaragi you arrive in the Castle of Flame. You would have to spend a few days, it's 3 days, sorry, 2 days, sorry, 3 days before the next week's classes start. So you might have to wait a little bit longer before you can start your classes.
It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, we can train. We're 3 Budoka and a warrior. We can train with each other. Spar.
You've only got 3 days, so you're probably better just relaxing and spending those 3 days in the castle.
Just spend a bit of time.
Yeah, I know
in
it doesn't
luxury.
give us any physical actual benefit to our stats or anything to spend 3
Yes.
days sparring.
But
I'm just thinking for
there-
flavour, like what we
There
would do
is
because of who
there
we
is
are.
an exercise yard that you can train in if you wish. The next 2 days are all wet and rainy, but the last day is dry.
I'll train
So-
in the rain. I keep my body hard no matter what.
Of
I
course,
think
you,
I'm going to
you can't rely on it
take
being good
advantage
weather.
of some of this luxury.
No, I'm training out in the rain. I am.
Yes.
My body is hard every day.
You are not being charged for your stay. You're not being charged for your food. You're not being charged for your baths. Good God!
I'm
you've
still
got it
having-
so.
I'm still having the food in the baths. Don't get me wrong. But I'm
quite
also
for them to
training.
take their time with the reply. You know.
Yeah, so I'm having a day's training in the rain, but I'm having a nice hot bath after and good food. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. Kosa's not going to be able to make remarks about slumming it for a short while.
Oh, this is great.
This is the life, lads. This is
Yeah, this is the life, lads.
Okay, so week 3 Kisaragi. There is only one official class being taught this week, which is in playing the samisen. But Honju does have spare spaces, and there are 2 free. There are 2 free masters.
So we can chat to them about what they might want to teach us with a little backhander again, like we did last time, in Nobioka.
Well, Honju is teaching a class already, but he has vacancies in that class if you wish to learn to play samisen. If not, then you can try and persuade him to one of his other.
So what are his other skills?
1 second, I will tell you what he is a master.
What is samisen?
A musical instrument.
Samisen is a musical instrument.
Which amazement, I'm still there.
1 second. So I just need to put a quick filter on his skills. Okay. So Honju is a master of Boya,
Oh.
composition and court dance, sacred dance, divination and meditation, playing the koto, the samisen and the sanko, and poetry and rhetoric. He's also a master of the School of Fire and the School of Water, which is what interests.
Which are the magic, right?
Yes. So Hachiro will ask if he would suggest one of the other masters who is a knowledgeable in the School of Metal. I mean, basically, this is a school which teaches the fine arts, but also teaches magic and spell. So as far as the School of Metal is concerned, there are 3 masters of that, and
Is that another school of magic?
yes, School of Metal is one of the schools of magic. And oddly enough, Master Fusahide is nominally free this week, but is working on the scroll that you brought him. So he will be able to mentor Hachiro when he has questions about his spell. So Hachiro can have another role this week and has additional bonuses. So, does somebody wish to roll for him? Or are you going to leave it up to me again to be the bad guy?
Well, I rolled terrible for the group before, so someone else.
Yeah, I will let you do it, Dave.
It's in God's hands. Oh! Oh no! Oh.
Kinzo rolled for the group. I'm sorry, he'd obviously got it completely wrong the first week, and Master Fusahide regretfully points out his errors, and he'll have to start learning again from scratch. He thought he'd taught him better.
Oops.
Not good. So I will have to knock that down to 0 points learned. And he was doing so well up to then. So, do any of you wish to learn try learning one of the fine arts?
Can I get a week's training in court dance?
In court dance?
Yes.
Dumpty 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 dum. Court dance. Honju is a master at it, and therefore you wish to persuade him to do that. So it's a status roll.
You can get a bonus on that by giving some coins, can't you?
It's basically a status roll. You get +5 because he's not busy, and +1 per extra pupil to be in the class. So that'd be another +1 for you. So that's +6. And then, are you making him a present?
No, I don't think I can afford it.
I don't think you need to with that roll.
Okay, so what was your roll? You
7.
said fine looking. It's a 7, so you get plus on the roll. So, sorry, on your chance. So that basically makes it a 1. Yes, he is willing to do it. That's for that.
Thank you very much, sir.
So you will get a week's training in court dance. 1 second while I tell you what it gives you. Honju, court dance. And so that's yes. Bonus for student. Is it a bonus for you? No. Correct?
Not yet.
Not planning ahead, eh?
Well,
You're aiming high.
well, the point is, if you get made book, you look a right idiot if you don't have any. So you.
Well, that is true. That is true.
That
Yes.
is true, yes. Okay, and luckily, I think you are fluent in the skill, yes? Sorry, in the in katakana?
I am indeed.
In that case, there is a usable Torimono.
Excellent.
Right. Sorry, just checking something out. Okay. And paste that. Okay, it's not synced level, unfortunately, but damn. Sorry, just made a mistake. Let me just redo this. That's better. Okay, so that will be a bonus of +4 to your learning rate.
Makes a total of 6.
Makes a total of 6, and that will set you back 5 silver piece.
Oof. Now, when he's doing that, spending the week doing that, if the other two of us aren't interested, can we get any like actual stat benefit from spending a week physically training then? If we train our jiu-jitsu together or whatever?
You need to train for a month.
To
get-
yeah.
Is there a lower level instructor who's willing to do hiragana? It doesn't have to be a master.
Well, you can ask. Let's see, hiragana. Honju isn't a master, but
Doesn't have to be a master.
you can attempt to persuade him.
Sorry, remind me
Yes,
which one's
please.
Hirogana?
Boschbeak.
Oh,
Posh
right,
speak.
okay, yeah, talking nice.
Okay, so sorry. Do you want to learn how to speak hiragana? How to write in hiragana? Kyūryū?
No, I'm not interested in that, to be honest.
Okay, in that case, roll your status piece.
Okay.
What's the name of the school we're at?
This is the Castle of the Flame. If you add that to your groups.
Yeah, 15. Not very good.
No, he's not interested in teaching that.
Okay.
There are another 2 masters. Right, there is another free master if you want to try him.
What does he do?
Okay. Roll the dice. You want low?
Oops.
There you go.
Better.
Okay. Are you making a gift?
Ooh, I'll chuck in a silver. Something. Get him a gift for a silver.
Okay. Okay. So, can you make an effect number on the skill to be taught? Right. So it is a waste of his time, really. So there's no effect on that. It's just you. -3 because the teacher will not have a free week. I'm afraid no.
Okay. Thank you, anyway.
He's not interested in giving up his week to teach you.
Okay.
Dave, what is the multiple for the school?
This is quite a good school. Let me just double check that. And that is 0.4 for this. Okay, now, since you went up in fine arts, how many BCSs did you go up?
1.
So you get 0.05 to add to a mental state.
Yeah, I've added it to will.
Okay. Hachiro unfortunately doesn't get anything. Ichijo will just luxuriate as Kosa does. And it's actually just over a week before you're summoned back in the evening. You haven't quite finished your week's training, but you're summoned back to see Master Fusahide, and he will hand over. Sorry, let me just write that down in the bullet for you. And on 29 Kisaragi, Master Fusahide summons you and has two scrolls to return. One of them looks identical to the scroll that you brought here.
Okay.
And the other is a small scroll which accompanies it, and along with it there is a carrying pouch padded with a little medicine bottle in it.
Okay. Thank you.
And he thanks you for bringing the message and asks you to return the message to his master. And wishes you luck on your journey.
Thank you. What time of day is it there?
This is for the evening meal. You're having another master.
Right. We will set out first thing in the morning.
No, you won't. You've got another day's training to go. This was on 29 Kisaragi. 30 Kisaragi is your last day's training, so you will have to leave on first Yoyori. Okay.
That's a real hardship, that.
Yes,
I'll suffer.
I can tell that you are really, really suffering. Well, the person who's really, really suffering is Hachiro.
Yeah, I better go and cheer him up.
Because Master Fusahide remonstrates with him that if he had learned properly, then he'd have given him another scroll to replace the teaching scroll he had lent him. But
Try and cheer him up. He must be a bit down in the dumps since he's blown.
Yes, he thinks that Kinzo probably jogged his arm or something.
If he wishes to blame me for his own failings, well, he's allowed to.
on your trading and resting at the castle. Gods, luxury. Righty-ho. Well, so you finish your trading in hiragana and court dance. Well, you'd like to finish your trading in hiragana, but sadly, no. But your court dance you are somewhat better at, and the weather looks particularly nice tomorrow.
Nice.
Warm, clear skies, moderate breeze. You set off at dawn.
This is the first of Kyūryū is the name of this month, yeah?
Yoyoi.
Yoyoi.
Y-O-Y-O-I.
Y-O-Y-O.
Yoyoi.
Okay.
And as you leave the castle, guttering by the side of the road, you see a small pillar of flame.
By the side of the
Which is
road.
by the side of the road, which is guttering, and as the light touches it, it goes out. You proceed on into the pass. The sun is to your east, and therefore shining straight down the path. And the journey passes without happenstance, actually, until you reach the village. Are you going to stop there or carry on?
What time of day is it?
You have travelled 1, 2, 3, 4 Rai, and half of it was through rough terrain, half of it's through clear. So it's mid-afternoon. You can travel on for a bit farther if you want.
Oh yeah, I would say so.
Let's carry on, yeah.
Not stopping in the village, Kyūryū?
Oh well. No, because the guys
He's
are
still
gonna...
there. It's been a week.
Are you going to ask around the village?
Well, the guys are going to be mad at me. They want to just get moving, don't they?
Yep.
Maybe I'll bump into this guy another time.
Okay, so you're just passing straight past the
Yeah.
village without stopping.
Just for group harmony. Because
Okay.
that's a personal agenda. I don't want to take up group time with it.
Okay. Well, by the time night falls, you're going to be about there on the road, unless you're pushing it.
Let's push on to the village.
Push on to the village, surely, yeah.
Which village?
What's it called?
That one?
Shinguru.
Anatawa?
Not a village, that's the Twin Inn, isn't it? We'll have to camp out instead.
You can stay at the Twin Inn
Is
if
that
you
the posh
want.
inn? Let's camp out. Let's go for an encounter through the night, guys. Come on, let's get some action.
After all, we don't want to overdo Hachiro's marching, do we?
Exactly, yeah, he'll collapse. he's
Trying
already,
to pour that out now.
yeah,
Well,
he's already just
he's spinning the
disheartened
dumps
'cause
already.
He just screwed
Yes.
up his spell again, so yeah, I don't want to hurt the guy anymore. Like
Well, he's exhausted already and depressed.
mentally exhausted
I
as
mean,
well.
what could go wrong? Okay, so you camp out for the night. I don't think any of you have any practical skills that would actually help.
I don't think so. Let me have a wee look at my sheet.
Well, has Ichijo got hunting?
I've got so
Hang on a second.
I've got
let's
hunting.
I've got
check.
cooking, boys. I have cooking. I can make us a nice
I've got hunting
meal.
and tracking.
Hichijo's got fishing, but you're not on the river.
But Kosa, our vaunted leader's got hunting and tracking.
Okay. Well, if you want to spend a day hunting, then you can gather some food.
Yeah. We've been living in the lap of luxury for a few days. We'll go back to the old iron rations.
Okay.
Yeah,
In that
have
case,
rations, actually, don't we?
In that case, it's decent weather tonight. It's not cold and wet, so can I have a health saving throw at +5?
Also, David,
Plus
how
what?
many days food should we have taken off for the travelling?
So far, 1
Okay.
tonight's,
Yeah. Okay.
because you stayed in the villages, the last 2 on the way, and you've been fed until you're bulging at the castle. Well, maybe not bulging, but you know what I mean. So let's just knock 1 off for Ichijo, and knock 1 off for Hachiro. And could I have a health saving throw from everybody at +5 on your on your chance?
I rolled a 16.
+5, so you take away 5 really. So I got a 3.
Yeah, knock 5 off your roll.
I got a 3.
I rolled a 1, so
You got
rolled a
-4. Nice roll. That's a nice roll.
You're wondering why you spent so long at the castle, staying out in the open like this, bracing country air. You know, none of that kind of smoke and ash from all the spells they were casting there. You've never felt so good.
I got a 3.
I'm going to pay for it sometime. So let's enjoy it while we can.
Okay. You're not feeling too great the following day, Kosa.
Oh, God. I'm not living it up.
It's probably all that rice you ate. You're not used to such rich food.
I know I shouldn't have had that last couple of glasses of sake.
Can't hold your drink just because your body's not hard.
No, it was refreshing mountain water. Didn't want to sully the temple of your mind. Okay, the following day dawns relatively peacefully, apart from Kosa kind of bitching about the fact that he was sleeping on a rock or something all night. He's pulled some muscles, he's not feeling too good. And you set out. You do actually meet a couple of merchant caravans leaving the inn. Are you going to attempt to engage them in conversation, or ignore them as being beneath your notice?
I wouldn't ignore them as beneath my notice. I would acknowledge them and say hello. I wouldn't ignore them.
Very good. Well, they will say hello back. The Ashigaru will just make sure that you don't get too close to the porters and the packs. And you reach the Saikaido, and they turn northeast, and you turn southwest. And you travel down the Saikaido to the riverbank. You pass through the village. All is well. All is peaceful. Lots and lots of traffic. Probably because the weather's so good. And you reach the riverbank. There are a couple of ferrymen ferrying people across. How many? One of them calls up.
5.
5 of us, please.
5. That'll be 10 copper.
Okay.
Each.
Where's the...
What?
Each?
What did you say?
He laughs. No, 10 copper, the lot of you.
Good
I
job.
don't understand anything, but we're on One Shoe's business.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Well,
10 copper each, he says out loud. Sorry, 10 copper for the lot of you. When you come down to give it to him, he takes 5 out of your hand and closes it.
okay.
You should
So
have
one
said that
each.
first.
So 1 each then, Dave, right?
Basically 1 each,
Right,
yes.
okay.
Sorry, I should say sorry about that, but it's the first time we've done this.
Yeah, well, don't kind of announce it out loud, right?
Oh, okay.
Special rates for his friends, but don't tell everybody.
Okay. I'll give him a second copper then.
Oh. Well, no need for that, mate. I don't want to get on his wrong side. Thanks for the thought.
No. This isn't one going to his wrong side because I don't intend telling him about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Squire. And Ichijo loses another copper. And does somebody want to roll percentiles for dice for the party crossing the river?
Right, I can't be as unlucky as last time. I'll get it.
Okay.
No, I think Kosa should roll.
I got a 25, boys. So
That's okay.
Okay, you make it across. You head for the docks. Well, you're actually at the docks. So you head for One Shoe's Emporium.
You do.
And he's glad to see you. He was getting worried. He was expecting you back a few days ago. And,
Yes, well, it took
everything
some
go
time
okay?
to get a reply. Yes, it just took a while for a reply to be put together.
Okay, have you got the reply?
We have indeed.
Okay. He produces 20 silver.
Okay.
yeah, and we are on what date now? The 2nd.
Sorry, this is the second yo-yo. Yes. Yo-yo, rather.
Okay, so we'll dish the money out.
+4, eh?
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any more work like that?
Well, I got to go deliver this to my client. So,
Do you need an escort?
probably best not. But thanks for the thought. I mean, nobody's likely to jump me. I'm a pretty nondescript-looking guy.
Okay.
Offer stands, you change your mind.
Are you wanting to stay here again tonight?
Oh yeah, we've missed this place. I would love a night here.
Okay. Well, his bed's free, so yeah. And he will disappear off.
Cheerio.
Anyone trying to follow him?
Not personally, no.
Yeah, I'm not that good. Certainly not in town.
Okay. He returns later on without the scroll, and thanks you for successfully completing the mission for his client. And
Did he take the padded pouch as well?
no,
The remedy.
no,
Yeah,
it's just the two
I
scrolls.
didn't offer it to him. I didn't offer it to him, so he didn't.
Oh, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
We've got someone in the party with physician skills. Can they tell what a remedy is by looking at it? Do they have any skill in that?
Well, he can attempt to see if he recognises it. It's not as good as being a herbalist, so he's at half BCS for that.
But he does have a chance. Right, okay.
He has a chance.
Who's rolling
Who
for
wishes to roll for it?
Come on then.
Go on, then,
Jam,
mate.
I did
Good luck,
something,
mate.
He's got no idea.
Doesn't have a clue.
Well,
what's
he
this?
was obviously distracted because of his depression over his teaching
Yes.
role.
Never mind, Hachiro.
Never mind, Hachiro.
We're still your friends.
Yeah. It's just a run of bad luck, mate. It'll end.
Yeah.
Yes,
You'll
well,
turn out to be a star in the end. You dealt with
can
that ghost, remember? You dealt with that ghost.
well, yes, eventually.
Well, you dealt with it. That's the important thing. You dealt with it.
It was him running away screaming that put me off, he says, kind of pointing at Kyūryū.
Wow, yeah. It's the first time we've seen one, so you know.
Well, no, I think it's probably the first time he's actually jumped into the middle one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that.
It was inside me. I was inside it. It was weird. Okay.
Right, well, perhaps next time don't do that.
We existed in the same space. I cannot explain how weird it was.
Yes, quite. I think it was Ichijo who was being strangled, wasn't it?
Especially with what I do and how I train and how in tune with my body I am, for someone else to be occupying the same space as it was a very, very surreal experience for me.
Okay. You have another quiet night. Yes, the sake is still. It's not as good as you've recently, shall we say? It's obviously a not great batch, but it's still sake when all's said and done. It does wash the rice and the fish and the vegetables down, obviously. So, if you'd all care to knock off another food for the night. Anybody getting short?
I have 8 days now, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, 8.
Hachiro's down to 5, but right. Monshu will say that he's not entirely sure what's happening tomorrow, but he can have a poke around tomorrow and see if he can work. Are you interested?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes. Keep working.
Okay. What do you think of that?
You've gone a little quiet, Dave.
Sorry, I'm just saying, does he think of that? There is a possibility. Nope. So he will go to sleep with you. It's not as dry in the shed. The sacks of cement have gone. He's got some sacks of rice there instead now. You know, these merchants, stuff appears, disappears. It's all high turnover. Following morning, he asks you to wait there, and he'll just pop off and speak to his contacts. Comes back after half an hour and says, yep, I've got some work for you loading one of the ships on the dock. 3 copper apiece.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, we'll take that.
For you 4. Doesn't think Hachiro would be able to handle the load. Okay, and he takes you along to see one of the merchants, who will give you directions to the Street of Craftsmen
Should we get
to
fed
go
or
and
not?
pick up some cargo from one of the potters. Basically, he'll have pallets of earthenware loaded, ready for shipping.
Right.
So those pallets, 2-man carry jobs.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
Now-
be very, very careful with it.
When we do a
No,
day's work
don't-
for these guys, do we get paid? Do we get fed, or do we take a day's food off our thing?
When you stop for the night, you take a day's food. Yeah. Porter's work doesn't pay particularly well, but it's what's available on the docks.
Yeah, but it's 3 a day, and it costs 1 a day to live, so it's 2 profit.
Yes. Nice to see you're so grateful for what to one shoe for. Okay, so you're sent off to the Street of Craftsmen. There is a pack load loaded up. It's basically a pallet on ropes, stacked up with earthenware in sacking, and a couple of poles to carry it with. The craftsman is most insistent you take great care with it. Don't knock it. Don't run with it. Have you done this sort of thing before?
Of course.
And yeah, of course you have, back in the village. But he seems very concerned to make sure there's no breakage of his goods. And you carry that to the docks and drop it off there. And the merchant tells you to nip back. There should be another one loaded. He'll get his men to carry it down into the hold and unload it. And so you jog back to the craftsman's shop, and he just double checks that you delivered it safely. Then he'll point you at the next one. He's got about half a dozen of these loaded up, ready to go. Okay, you get about halfway through, and the first one's been unloaded, and the pack is empty, and the second one's got in when you deliver the third. So you then have one to take back for them to start loading again. So you basically spend the day just shuffling stuff backwards and forwards between the potter's place and the ship.
Okay.
Okay?
Big shoveling cement.
It does. Can I have a wit saving throw from each of you, please?
Okay. Oof, not good.
No. Come on, Kinzo, you can do it.
I think it's not / / is it?
Also, at the top left of the screen, you see the dice symbol. It's got a D20 on it. Just hit that.
It's just
Yeah.
slash R.
Oh my days.
Ooh, yeah. Nope.
Does
We
one
never
of you
saw
wish to
nothing,
roll?
Governor.
Does one of you wish to roll for Chijo?
No.
I'll do it. I'll do it then. I'll take the blame.
Oh, nice roll.
It's better.
Yes, unfortunately, Ichijo is a
Fortunately, it's a
bushy,
bushy. He's got no wit.
and bushy are remarkably thick. His saving throw is only 3.
Oh
So
my days. We all failed.
So we saw nothing, Governor.
Nice work,
you
boys.
saw nothing out of the ordinary. Oh dear! I do offer you these chances, and you blow them.
We keep blowing them.
Never mind. But at the end of the day, you each earn 3 copper, and you knock off a food.
Knock off food. -1 food.
And Hachiro doesn't earn anything. And knocks off a food. Sorry, did you add the 4 silver to Hachiro and Ichijo, by the way? Or not?
No, I didn't. No.
I will add it. It's a nice
No,
boost
I don't
there.
modify the people's sheets.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. I will
we'll
make
look
sure
at
I do
other
it
people's
for them.
sheets.
Okay, it's actually quite a good day's work. You don't get particularly mucky or filthy. It's not particularly hot today. There was just a light breeze, so you're feeling quite good. So you settle down for the night. All is well. And you know from bitter experience that tomorrow is the 4th Yoyoi is Shinto festival of Matsubayashi, which welcomes the kami who bring happiness to a new year. When you were back in the village, you had to line up with your family, and you go up to the Lord's manor and perform a traditional dance for him as part of the customs. Thank God you don't have to do that here. It was always so embarrassing. Anybody wish to visit a Shinto shrine and celebrate the day? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one are you going to?
The big one.
The Dragonette.
Strictly speaking, the Torrigate dedicated to Ebisu.
Okie doke. So that's the Harvest Blessings. Okay, you visit the gate dedicated to Ebisu and join the celebrations there. And there is indeed much dancing. If you knew how to play an instrument, you might be able to earn some money for it.
No, I don't know how to play an instrument.
Never mind. Okay, Wanshu visits one of the smaller shrines and makes his way back to his office, and no more work today loading earthenware. They've finished the delivery of cement and unfortunately can't find any work on the docks for you today.
Well, I wasn't actually looking for any because it's celebration day, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
It's a holiday.
But thank you for looking for us.
No trouble at all. Are you taking tomorrow off as well?
What, is the festival 2 days?
No, it's a Buddhist festival, Tango no Seku. Boys' Day, the festival of banners.
Oh.
No.
Families visit to ward off evil spirits from their boy children. Yeah, you got taken to the to the temple of outside the village, and Oyasumi embarrassed you every year at that festival. But so it's probably one that you'd rather forget.
Well, I'm not going to forget it.
Okay, so you're looking for work the following day. So after that visit, then just knock off a day's food. And Hachiro is going to have to think about popping out and getting some food from outside the town. He's running a bit short, down to about 4 at the moment.
I'm on
Actually down to
6.
3 now.
I'm on 6. Is it worth getting some more? You can only buy them in packs of 10, eh?
Well, no, you can buy them in individual ones.
Well, is he going out?
He's going to go out tomorrow. I mean, unless once you finds him some work, but there doesn't seem to be much work on the docks.
I'd be happy for him to grab me 5 if he's going out.
He could try and find some work in town, you know, writing things out for people, but he might get some hassle from the existing traders. He asks Wanshu whether or not he can get him any work doing involving writing or scholarly stuff, and Wanshu will tell him that he will try. It's not a lot of call for it on the docks. Okay, so the following day, which is, as I said, 5 Yo-Yoi. There is indeed more work on the docks. A ship has docked, and there are raw materials for the daimyo's building being delivered.
You said it was a Buddhist festival today, though.
Yes.
I don't want to work today. I want to take part in the festival.
Okay.
Okay.
Up to you. But
Well, that'll work anyway.
there's several days' work unloading this ship. The merchant wasn't willing to pay more than 2, but he bargained him up to 3. All right.
Okay, yeah. I'm in.
Okay. There is, in fact, 4 days' work, if you're interested.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Indeed.
Would I be able to join after today?
Well, once the merchant's taken somebody on, might have to pay him to drop him, or kind of take a lower wage.
Maybe I'll just take a few days off.
Well, it's not saying it's impossible. You know, he does have influence.
Okay.
Do you want him to try?
I'll try. Do I have to make a status roll?
No. One shoe will do it.
Okay. Thank you, One Shoe.
One shoe will attempt to influence the guy. And he's willing to give you 8 copper for the 3 days left.
I'll take it.
Fair enough. So everybody else earns 12 and has to knock off 4 food. You earn 8 and have to knock off 4 food. Okay. Ichijo knocks off 4 food and earns 12.
I need to get
Hachiro
No,
is
I
going
won't
out
get food.
to actually buy some food from one of the villagers.
So we just get me 10.
Would you get me 10, please?
Yeah, can you get me 10 as well, please?
Me too, please.
He will get 50.
Okay.
Okay. So if he'll charge you the same as he pays, so it's 10 copper each, and you can add another 10 food back on again.
Okay. 10 copper.
Righty-ho. And after that day, Hachiro has basically been trying to study his spell scroll while you lot have been working. And he thinks he's getting it, but a few days more. Right, the next day unfortunately is workless. The ship sailed, so nothing available then. And
So that's take 1 day food off, make no money.
yep. And Hachiro another day off. 8. And once you actually has some deliveries need making out to one of the villages. And that is up the road to the northwest to Hajima. So if you can take a delivery up there, he'd be happy to pay you 4 copper each for the 4 of you.
Of course we will. Of course we will.
Okay.
What date are we on now? Is it the 9th?
Today is 10 yoyoi. 9 yoyoi was no work.
Oh yeah. I'm keeping meticulous notes.
Sorry, I'm taking notes as well. So.
Oh, this is for your blackmail, is it?
No, just
I don't know why I take notes because I record the session, but
yeah, no, but it's nice. Sometimes you want to go back and look up something, and look up the name of something. It's
during
nice
the session. Yeah, exactly. That's why I take notes as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Hachiro asks if you'd mind if he stays behind. He's
No, it's fine.
Is that just so he can study him?
well, yes. This will be his 8th day.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we don't want to interrupt his studies.
Lazy fuck. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. He has 2 large pallet loads to take up. There's about 80 pounds on each pallet, so it's effectively 40 pounds each.
That's slowing us down, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's only kind of 3 rye there and 3 rye back.
So they'll be there in the back of the day, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's the pallets will be empty on the way back.
And you said this is a 3 copper job, eh?
Yes, he'll give you 3 copper for it.
Each.
4, I think it was agreed.
Let's be clear.
Oh yes, it was 4, wasn't it? Yes.
So,
Was it 4? Oh.
easy mistake to make.
Yes. Sorry about that. I'd forgotten I'd said 4. He says. So if you just take it, it gives you directions as to where to go in the village and who to see, and sees you off. Okay, and you travel northwest out of the gate. The walls seem to have come to a bit of a stop at the moment, and some of the stones seem to be being removed.
They're not suffering from dodgy cement, are
they? Oddly enough, they do appear to be chipping out some of the cement.
Some of the mortar.
The mortar isn't up to standard.
Why am I not surprised?
It's shocking, absolutely shocking.
I know, that's terrible. Where did they get that cement?
Okay. You travel up the road to Hajima. The journey is reasonably uneventful. There appear to be a few guards going backwards and forwards on the road, patrolling for some reason.
Do they look concerned? Do they have concerned looks?
They stop you and check what you're carrying, and since it's got One Shoe's chop on it, and the manifest is pretty obvious, they let you pass. They don't even bother checking to see that what's there is what's supposed to be. You're obviously not a bunch of bandits. You will find out that there was a bandit attack in the area recently on the road, and they are just keeping watch for them.
Well, I would like to assure them that any bandits that we come across, they will be handed justice by us. So there's some extra support for you guys on this road while we're out here.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. That such a skilled warrior as yourself would help us out. I just hope you can manage to spare the time from your arduous job carrying those heavy loads. Do make sure you don't overtax yourself.
Flexes his muscles.
They proceed down the road.
How graciously.
Obviously saying something quite amusing to each other as they laugh at some joke or other. Okay, you reach the village safely. If you, when you deliver the stuff, the merchant is pleased to see you, thanks you for delivering it, and asks if you had any problems on the way. His last shipment was hijacked by bandits.
No, it's much safer with us.
Well, I'm sure once you wouldn't give the load to carry to any trust.
We're experts in dealing with bandits. Your goods are...
Are you?
Oh, yes.
Oh. Are you not going to try and find them?
Well, I'm not sure we didn't find some.
Really?
Yeah, well, we were stopped by a couple of men who who said they were guards.
Oh yes, the daimyo has put guards out on the road.
Would they be wearing his? Would they be wearing his mon?
Well, of course.
So, question to Dave as a games
Yes.
master: were the two guards wearing their mon?
They were. They were official Arig Ashig.
Okay, that's fine.
But they weren't making an attempt to look off the road. They were just basically marching up and down the road, keeping an eye on travellers and not doing much else. Okay, you drop off your load, the packages and crates off the pallet, and then says you're free to go back. Signs off the manifest with his chop, and you can jog back to Nobioka.
Okay.
Shall we have a quick look, see if we can find any tracks of bandits on the way back?
I guess there's no harm in.
I'm willing to doing some bandit hunting, boys.
Well, I think if we don't give our friend here, Kyūryū, a little bit of action, he might go rushing off to look for them anyway.
Yeah. I've got a real taste for it, boys. I've got a real taste for it. Justice with these hands.
Well, don't forget you've got a Buddhist Gakusho to hunt out first.
Waiting to entertain.
Waiting to enlighten you.
Yeah, I've not learned about pacifism yet, so let's go beat something up.
Okay, I guess there's no harm in having a little look around as we head back.
Okay, so what, are you going to head down the hills to the southwest of the road and look for tracks going into the hills?
Yeah, I think that's the southern side is more likely, isn't it? Yes, because the other side's the river. So
towards the woods.
yeah, I think we'll go.
Well, unless they've got a hidden ford across the river, I mean, you can't go across it, can you?
No, you can't. It's far too deep to cross.
In that case, looking on the edge of the hills is the best bet.
Yeah.
Okie doke. And who is your tracking expert?
Our esteemed leader.
Oh,
Me.
the esteemed leader. Let us see whether he is better at tracking than rolling for.
We've got a few stinking rules between us tonight. Like.
No.
No.
That is several negative effect numbers.
Okay, fine. Sadly, you make it to the end of the hill without
Nothing to
of
see,
interest.
lads. Nothing to see.
Nothing to see there. Obviously, they kind of walked along in the edge of the river, so they didn't leave any footprints.
well,
That's probably
I
why they
appreciate the
covering their
rest of the
tracks.
group engaging my curiosity. It means a lot to me.
Okay, fair enough. And you make your way back to Nobioka and deliver the empty pallets to the merchant, to Wanshu rather, and he accepts the signed manifest and pays you 4 copper each for your day.
Hey.
So add 4 copper and deduct a food. the hand-to-mouth existence on docks. It's terrible, isn't it?
It's not there.
I don't know. We're making more money than we're spending.
Yeah, we are making money.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thanks to your patron.
Yes. And it's well, he has been good to us, really. I mean, saving us a fortune in inns.
Oh yeah, I'm very grateful to him. I'm just waiting for the bubble to collapse. That's me as a player, that is.
Yeah, just make sure you're not under it when it does.
Okay. And where are we now? So that was
day 10.
That was the 10th of Yo-Yoi. You heard about the bandits.
So, is it just a one-off attack, or is there a fairly regular trouble on that raid?
Oh no, it was a one-off attack.
One-off
I mean,
but it was-
they're very cheeky of them. So close to Nobioka and the daimyo's guard. It's almost unheard of, which is why they were so surprised.
So they're getting a bit brave.
Yes, yes.
Almost like they're being organised by a leader. By the last name Hydra.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 days on his teaching scroll. Are the rest of you planning on continuing to work, or are you actually looking at seeing what's being taught in the various schools and shrines this week?
I think we're good for money. I'm interested to see what training's available.
Yes, I'll have a look round for.
Okay, so this is the second week of Yo.
We're into the 11th now.
No, we're still not quite there
We're
yet.
still on the 10th. We're looking at what's going to be
On the 10th.
available on the 11th. Yeah.
Yo-Yo week 2. Right, well, oddly enough, each of the temples is teaching Bushido.
Bleh.
Pardon?
Remind me what. You have to remind me every time what's Bushido, sorry.
Buddhism.
Buddhist theology.
I've got my class booked for the week.
You're going to go and learn Buddhism, Bushido, righty-ho.
Certainly
Well,
gonna study it, yeah.
Okay, well, the Abbot Genjaku is teaching it at the Kozanji Temple. He's a master. And Kamawana Migoto is teaching it at the Temple of Dragon and Peace, and he's a master as well. As luck would have it, Donawa Kita, a master in hiragana, is teaching joined-up writing at the Temple of the Dragon
nice.
and Peace.
That's an interesting.
So the
That's an
Dragon of
interesting
Peace
one
might
to
be
try.
the option then if you're going there.
Yep.
Yes, we'll try and get into that one.
Abbot Yoyaku is teaching Suda at the Rose Temple, but he's not a master. And one of his other priests is teaching Chinese classics. As far as the shrines are concerned, the Kanushi at the two largest shrines are both teaching Shinten, and they are both masters. There are classes in Shinten, Prana Yoga, and meditation at the Harvest Blessing Shrine, and in meditation at the Safe Return Shrine. At the various schools, there are classes available in Go, Boya, meditation, and Yarinaga Jutsu,
What's Yarinaga Jutsu?
chucking javelin.
Ooh, okay.
The Rice Harvest School is teaching hawking. It's actually a full week of hawking for two of the teachers.
Hawking as in the animal?
Hawking as in the skill.
Hawking as in
hunting
hunting
with
with a
hawks.
hawk, yeah, got you.
Yes. At the Art of Go, you could learn Chinese classics or herbalism. The Moving Wave School is teaching Saite and Jojutsu. At the Dawn of Time School, one of the masters is teaching hiragana as well.
I'd be
So-
interested in trying to get into the hiragana class.
Which one? The one in the Temple of the Dragon at Peace, or the Dawn of Time School?
the Dawn of Time, I think I've been to before.
Temple of Dragon of Peace is the one where I'm going to.
Okay, well that's the largest. Let's see. Dragon at Peace. Yoyoi 2. Kamawana Migoto. That's him. And how many spaces does he have available? Actually, no. Yes, he definitely has space available to Bushido. And the Dawn of Time School at the Hiragana class. Let's just double check that.
Yes, I trained with Master Takanaka at the Dawn of Time last time, so
I'm back into the bathroom.
And this is Master Takanaka again. And 6, so that is 4 minus 1. Ah, he has 1 space left.
that's all I need.
That's all you need. Are you looking for anything, Kinzo?
No, I'm going to work the week.
Okie doke. There's nothing that Ichijo is interested in either. They're all namby-pamby skills.
Well, there's a lot of stuff I'm interested in, but I don't have the money.
No, I'm right. He doesn't have Yarinaga Jutsu, so therefore he's not interested in learning it. Humph. Okay, so a week for you at the various schools. So you are learning Hiragana at the Dawn of Time School.
Yes, please.
From Master Takanaka. And
Kyūryū is
there is a
learning Bushido at the Temple of Dragon of Peace. Remind me of the name of my master.
1 second. Yo-yo 2. Kamawana Migoto.
Kamawana
Migoto.
Migoto. Thank you.
Okay, and as far as Bushido is concerned, you are fully literate in katakana. What's your current Bushido skill level percentage?
0.
0. In that case, you can use that Torimono.
Sorry, I can use Torimono. What do you mean?
A Torimono is a teaching. And if you are fully literate in the language it's written in the script it's written in,
a bonus in learning it.
It adds a bonus to your learning rate for that week.
Okay, so where do I put this? Is it in it's not in Bugai, it's not in fine arts, it's not in practical arts. Where does this go?
It is a fine art.
Oh, okay.
Butsu-do. Butsu-do.
Now, is that the study of Buddhism? It's not Buddhism
Yes.
itself, it's a study of
It's the theology.
the theology.
Buddhist theology.
Now, is that a bonus?
I don't believe so.
I doubt it.
Is it an FIS?
1 second. You would have to put it as a freely improvable skill.
Yeah.
Because
If you learn it, it will become a fizz until you run out of fizzes.
Yes.
Okay, and then what's my score?
Okay. 1 second. Let me just generate it. So as far as your hiragana is concerned, that goes up by, you have a bonus of 4 to your learning rate, so whatever your learning rate is.
So it's 6.
So that's 6. Cost of 5 silver.
Yep.
And have you gone up a BCS?
Yes.
That's a 0.05 on your... What are your mental characteristics? As far as the Dragon Temple is concerned, similarly, it's +4 on your learning rate. So your learning rate is 2. Kyūryū? Your learning rate is...
Oh yeah, learning rate is 2, got it.
Okay, so in that case, 2 + 4 is 6. So you now have a percentage of 6 as your skill. And you can add 0.05 to one
And what do I
mental
put that on the permanent?
You put that in the permanent, yes.
Okay, so that makes my final BCS 1. And I put 0.5 on a mental stat.
0.05
0.05.
to one of your 0.05 to either your wit or your will.
Right, okay. 0.05, jeez. Oh.
0.05. For each week that you train a physical skill, you get 0.1.
Okay.
For each week you train a mental skill, you get 0.05.
So that puts the 11 up to 11.05, yeah?
Correct.
Got you.
Okay. And that costs you nothing.
That cost me nothing.
Correct.
Except a week's food, right?
No.
No?
Nothing.
I get fed.
It costs
I
you
get
nothing.
fed at school, yeah, at the temple.
Yes. It is their duty to teach people all about the Buddhists.
They want to get you in.
To be honest, it's exactly the same deal at the Shinto shrines. They teach
they're all
it for free
competing
there.
for your souls.
And do you wish to rethink your week's work and go and spend a week learning about Shinten,
No.
Kinzo?
No.
No, I'm quite happy to work.
I was going to say,
Okay.
perhaps I'm going to leave a donation then.
Oh, they are always grateful to receive donation.
I shall donate 1 silver.
They are very grateful. They thank you. And so, if you would add Dragon Temple
To my schools.
as a group,
To my groups, yeah.
yep. Make yourself a member, and you earn status of 1.
Status of 1?
Yep. No, not position status.
No.
Earned status of 1.
Earned status is 1. I don't have earned status in my other ones, do I?
You
Farmer
should do.
or Moving Wave. I should do.
Because you had a week at Moving Wave, so you should
So I
have
should
1
have
there.
a 1 there.
Yes,
But not in farming. Not as a farmer.
correct.
Okay, got it. I'll take them up to date.
Okay, now the multiple for the Moving Wave school is 0.3. And the multiple for the Dragon Temple is 0.5.
Oh, that's a reputable temple.
Oh yes, that is favoured by the daimyo.
So the daimyo's a Buddhist, is he?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay. It's good to know.
Well, guess who the dragon is? It was this temple was founded after his father won the previous war and united Tokuga and Hayamana provinces. So the dragon at peace is his father. Or so people say.
Okay.
Okay, and Kosa has added his Dawn of Time. So have you added another week?
No,
because you were there before.
So that's
that puts you.
is that another earned status point?
Correct. Puts you up to 2.
To 2.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Done that.
Fine. Fair enough. Still, none of you better than your global status as your capability yet. Okay. Meanwhile, back on the docks. Let's just put a note in the diary about everybody training. So, as far as this week is concerned, we've got Kosa and Kyūryū train. And let's see whether or not One Shoe has any luck finding work on the docks for you. So, day 11, Yo-Yoi. One Shoe will pop out and scout around the docks and see what's available. And isn't having much luck, I'm afraid. So, it's a day without work and another food off. For Ichijo and Kinzo.
How's Hachiro doing with his learning?
This is his last but one day. End of tomorrow, he gets to roll.
Oh.
He best be there to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
Okay, let's see whether there's any work on day 2. Yes, he can get you work shifting stuff around the dock. It's only 2 copper a day for this particular merchant, I'm afraid. But do you want it?
Yeah, we'll take.
Okay. Good. It's only a day's work, but he thinks he should have some work tomorrow. He's got another ship coming in.
Excellent.
Is that just Kinzo that's doing that? Kinzo and Doc.
No, Ichijo's doing it as well.
Sorry, Ichijo.
Oh, in actual fact, sorry,
Ichijo.
today is the final day of week of reading his scroll.
Yeah.
Does anybody wish to roll for Hachiro on
No
his scroll?
thanks.
No, nobody brave enough to.
No.
Are you?
Hey!
Oh!
Nice roll time.
Congratulations! Hachiro has learnt Omnipresent Sword.
Hey.
Woohoo!
Now,
Hey.
are you only keeping that knowledge for that player because only he knows it? But are you gonna, for flavour, for the viewers, are you gonna tell us all about that spell, Dave?
I can do if you wish.
I would love to hear it.
1 second, I just need to work out what he gets for having learned that spell, because he actually acquires Shugendo. I think he gets a whole point of Shugendo for that.
Yeah.
So 1 point of Shugendo. He's doing well. After 3
Finally.
weeks of training.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. You see, you get quite a lot of Shugendo for learning spells, but it takes you a long time,
Yeah, they're
and
hard
it
to
costs you
learn.
a lot of money to buy the scroll in the first place. Which is why being given it is good.
Yep. And he wants to go back to the school as soon as possible, please, fellows.
If we can find some
well,
work that takes us there, no problem.
We might be able to do it next week, once the guys have finished their training.
Of course. And he will inquire him and he will, please.
Go on, show us this spell then.
Okay. Omnipresent Sword is a spell from the School of Metal. And it enables the Shugenja to summon a magical sword, which appears in his hands and acts as I think it's a katana. 1 second. Omnipresent sword, here we go. The Shugenja conjures a magical katana to appear in his hands. He may use it 1 or 2 hand actions as weight. He is not encumbered by this sword, which for Hachiro is very important. The quality of the katana depends on the level of the Shugenja. As level 1, he gets an inferior weapon, which basically means it does less damage. When he gets to level 2 or 3, he gets an average weapon. At level 4, a Shugenja would get a good weapon, a superior weapon at level 5, and a master weapon at level 6. The BCS used to wield this katana is his base magic capability. So he doesn't need to know Kenjutsu to use it. He just uses his existing magical capability. And he adds his level to this for a base BCS. If he had any Kenjutsu Okuden, if, for example, he knew Kenjutsu in an Okuden, he could use that with this sword. And the sword remains in the Shugenja's hand until he killed, knocked out, disarmed, or until he strikes a killing blow to a victim with the sword. When the Omnipresent sword kills, it will vanish unless the Shugenja expends 2 more points of power, and doing so causes the sword to remain and requires no magic BCS for success. However, the Omnipresent sword counts as a magical weapon for purposes of striking enchanted foes, parrying darts, etc. So, with that spell, he now has the first weapon you as could use to fight against spiritual creatures like Oni.
Nice. Quick
Not
question,
that
Dave.
you would ever want to fight Oni.
Quick
I
question,
assume his
Dave.
magic skill's probably going to be quite high, isn't it?
Went through the levels of weapons there. He had inferior, average, good, superior, master. Do magic weapons exist in this game?
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
Shugenja can create magic weapons, and magic weapons have been created by spirits.
Now, when they create them, is that creating it out of thin air, or is that enchanting a weapon?
You enchant a weapon.
Cool. Sorry for
Or
asking so many
indeed-
rules questions. I've never played the game before. It's
No.
cool.
It is well known that mighty warriors often carry amulets to protect them from the spells of wicked Shugenja. The fact that good Shugenja have enchanted these amulets, there aren't many good Shugenja around, but the good ones enchant amulets for the warriors to fight the wicked Shugenja.
Yeah, let's keep him around, boys.
The propaganda is amazing. But his magic BCS in the School of Metal is actually base BCS 11, which would mean his skill with the sword would be 12.
Which is pretty solid, right?
That's not bad.
Which is not bad.
Now, sorry, if he has skill in the sword as well, would it stack with the magic
No.
skill that he's using? No, he uses
No.
the better of the two.
Because it's School of Metal, and it's a magic sword, the Omnipresent sword spell, it's his magic BCS is used. Because Kenjutsu, you are used to the weight of the weapon.
Right, yeah.
With
He's not
Omnipresent
moving around a
sword,
weapon, he's
it's
moving around a magical
weightless.
force, yeah. Got it.
Yes.
So given that he's going to be training his magic skill up anyway, because it's one of his base things, he's going to
Exactly.
become quite dangerous.
He's not going to need to
well-
learn
well,
the skill in
if-
that sword if he has the magic spell to have that sword.
If he can persuade you lot to spend time with him at that school which teaches nothing but namby-pamby fine art.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's nothing for us there.
Albeit court dance. I believe that Kinzo was starting to train in that.
Kinzo's got an interest in that.
Maybe I'll take
Yeah.
it up as well, just for something to do while we're there. It might not be the worst skill to have, like.
Of course not. Okay, so that was a successful roll for him, and he is Yeah. Well, he will drink a little bit more sake tonight than he should, and wake with a terrible headache the following day.
Well, I'll celebrate with him. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's good.
No, you won't. You're in school.
Yeah, I'm studying, yeah, forgot all about that, yeah. I'm away in the school studying the wise Buddha.
Yeah,
Get the good news when we get back.
Kinzo and Ichijana will celebrate.
Well done, well done.
Oh,
Hey,
he's delighted.
It's 10:30, gents.
I think that's probably a good point to stop.
That's a nice one,
Sounds good to me.
It is indeed. Omnipresent sword. Hachiro will be overjoyed.
He will,
He could have used it on that ghost.
Richard's going to be loving it.
Yes.
Great game again, gents. Thanks very much.
Yes.
Earlier.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave, for running it.
Oh, shame you didn't track down those bandits.
It's all right. They're still out there. We will get them.
Yeah, we'll find them.
You need to get one shoe to send you off to that village again.
Bandits will still be banditing.